Hello, it's time for weekly harvest. I did some work during the week just because I had a few moments to spare, and I'll talk about that shortly. But in this garden, notice everything is looking beautiful. Don't need to do too much harvesting here. Maybe here. And I did uplift the light a little bit. Over here, I think we have a little something we need to give our attention to, because this is not getting the sun that it needs to grow, the light that it needs to grow, because this kale is taking up all of the light. See? So yeah, I'm going to harvest this off so that the rest of these here can get some light, because they're struggling. They're growing. You can see that they're growing. They're trying to do something here. Okay, but they just need a little bit more light. So we're going to harvest that kale there and let that get its opportunity to grow. I harvested here last week, and you can see how that new lettuce is coming in right down there. All right, so that's that additional growth. Again, all from the same seed. Have not planted anything new here. All right, I'm going to clean off some of these dead leaves, because I do believe it's hard for the new growth to come in when you have those dead leaves. I harvested this last week, and here I'm going to remove this pod right here, and I'm going to plant something new there. Not sure what, but I'm going to plant something new there. All right, let's look at this garden here with the bok choy that is just growing beautifully. But notice I've done all of this harvesting on the same bok choy plant, and it's still flourishing. So I'm going to definitely harvest some of these beautiful green, luscious, non-GMO, non-pesticide leaves. And my basil here again is coming up. It's my basil right here. You know, the funny thing is this basil and the bok choy are growing so close together that, yep, you said it, the bok choy is actually now starting to smell like basil because they're growing so close together. Wonder what would happen if I put bok choy and basil in the same pod. Interesting idea. But notice the basil is reaching the light. So I have the option of either pulling the light up or cutting the basil. And I think I'm just going to cut the basil, because it is growing quite nicely, and it's a lot coming in here. You see all those new leaves coming in there? All of that's basil. All right, even this little one down here that I cut last week. Move over a little bit, sir. You see that one right there? This one. Okay, see how it's growing up? All right, got some new growth there. I'm still looking at this little baby bok choy right here that's kind of growing out. Again, this is all with the same seed. I have not added any new seeds to this. I sowed these seeds back in February. So I'm going to give that a little bit more attention and see what's going on. And then I'm going to come over here to this little bok choy. It's growing out right nicely. And if you don't know, bok choy is Chinese cabbage. Look how that's growing up so nicely. And so many new leaves are coming up through there. Again, has been harvested. All right. And it's still growing out beautifully. So let's look down here. Again, February 5th, I planted this. And you notice in the middle there, that's that arugula we looked at last week. See, I had to get rid of some of that. And I still may need to come over and do a little bit more harvesting, because my arugula will grow beautifully, but it needs some light. So I possibly need to come over and do some harvesting here. Over here we had lettuce, and this is butter crunch lettuce. Really tastes good. This here is romaine lettuce in the middle. Notice how it's growing up. I cut this last week, and I just planted this right here last week on the 17th. You see, it's dated April 17th. And that is arugula. Notice how it's coming up. Arugula grows fast. And if you don't know about arugula, do some research. All right, arugula is very, very closely related to spinach. And no, I have not had any success with spinach, so I'll get the arugula. You see this browns here? I'm going to come through and harvest all of those off. And this is my new little one that's growing in, I forgot what this is, but it looks a little weak. But I'm just going to let it keep on growing. Just let it keep on growing. You know, keep nurturing it, keep it over there. So that's what we have going on over here today. Okay. So